Now, most people by now know how to search for information online. We use search engines, but one has become so dominant that the term to search is often interchanged with to Google. With the explosion of mobile phones, internet searches too have grown exponentially to a point that Google now receives 63,000 searches per second on any given day. Now, 15% of all of those searches have never been searched before on Google. So, almost all of us actually also conduct about 3 to 4 searches every single day. So how do South Africans Google? What was the most popular and trending parts of our searches? Well, to tell us a little bit more about that, we're now joined by PR Specialist Sibonisile Ngubane. Thanks so much for joining us. Welcome to the program.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, I suppose technology has really changed the game. I mean, we're going to look at the trends and the searches a bit more now, but one of the things I started to notice is that a lot of them might not have trended 5 years ago.
Yes.
But because of the proliferation of mobile phones and things, it's affecting what we're interested in.
Yes. Especially social media. If you want to actually find a link, you'll see that a lot of the things that are trending on social media, then people will then go from looking at that and then go to Google to find out more, which is good because it means we're becoming a lot more inquisitive. And what I really loved about these searches, which we're going to go through now, is that if you look at the differences between now and last year, the things that we're searching are now predominantly what's happening locally, what's happening in South Africa. So it means that there's a shift towards wanting to find out more about our own culture, about our own people, our own celebrities, as opposed to whatever else is happening out there.
Well, let's start unpacking some of them. So we'll start with this one, top trending questions. So this is what people wanted to find out, and I was fascinated by some of these. Let's put it up. Let's have a look at the top trending searches for 2019. This is what they look like. They're coming. They're coming.
Oh,
there we go. All right. So the first one, I mean, there's a number of ones there which are quite interesting. And how long is a rugby match?
Yeah, because a lot of people actually didn't know much about rugby until the World Cup. And then you started seeing the interest and, you know, people wanted to know, how does this thing actually work? Which is great. I mean, so, and that's why.
What is Bosasa?
Yes, I quite like that because it means that people are not taking whatever, you know, only just what the media is saying and only what's being said on social media. They want to find out more about the current state of our nation and so on. And I think it's good because it means that we can also work towards finding the truth ourselves.
But the first one, why were conflicts invented? This sounds like almost like one of these prank type things.
Yeah, but I can't say it. Yeah. If you Google it, you will understand why they're so interested in that question. It's got quite an interesting twist to it. Has nothing to do with food or nutrition, for that matter.
Oh, that's interesting. That's
I would say people should look it up now, and they will have quite a good laugh.
Okay, all right. So that's good to know.
Yeah.
So that was the top trending question, and it has nothing to do with what you're seeing on the screen, by the way.
No.
So you have to Google it for yourself.
Does not.
Why were cornflakes invented? Okay. So the next one I'm interested in as well is the top trending South African personalities. Let's take a look at that. Top trending South African personalities.
Are they going to come up?
All right, top trending South African personalities.
Well, those also changed a lot from last year.
All right. So tell us about these, because again, now we're seeing that, again, as you were saying, these are very local.
Yeah.
That's the first thing, is we're interested in our own people.
If you actually look at last year's, I mean, you had How Old is Pharrell Williams? When is the royal wedding happening? And then questions around Meghan Markle. How did Avicii die? A lot of them had nothing to do with what was happening in South Africa. But when you look at this list, it's just South Africans mostly. Nezimu, who passed away sadly this year. And most of them are people who've passed on, and then others, I mean, like Siya Kolisi, people who've really inspired the nation.
And so the rugby players have come through there. But it is something about when people pass, isn't it? And Nezimu, if we can take a look at that, captured a lot of people's hearts and minds.
Yeah. It's also that thing of you never really know how much people love you and how much they care about you until you're gone, which is quite sad. But the outpouring love for him, you know, after his passing was quite just amazing to see. And I think that's why it's come up at the top.
All right. And I suppose when we look at the next one, which is the top trending sports searches, we've already got a clue, really, of which one was going to be popular there.
Of course, definitely the Rugby World. This was the highlight of 2019. So, of course, it would be right there at the top. But isn't it also interesting that it's mostly just sports?
Yes, you're absolutely right.
It's mostly, which has done so well, you know, for our country. So
I suppose Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates, not a surprise though, is it?
None at all.
Okay, so Rugby World Cup, that was the #1 sports search, of course, and the president must have really enjoyed that moment there.
Love to see this picture still.
Okay, let's rush through the rest of them because we're running out of time, but top movies, top trending movie searches, and I've got to say, I don't know half these films here.
Yeah, unfortunately here it is not stuff that is local. Avengers Endgame. I went to watch this movie. I think it was 3 hours long. I didn't understand. It is crazy, but people love it. Lion King also did well, so it's there. But it also just shows that we're not making enough of our own stuff, or people are not supporting it as much as they should. So maybe next year that will be different. Okay, so this also interested me. The top trending music personalities. Yes. And so this is the list. Again, local is lekker. Yeah. And again, also people who have sadly passed. Predominantly
controversy as well. Number 4.
They put us through the most this year.
And number 8.
And who's let me
Johnny Clegg was number 1.
And Johnny Clegg was who we lost this year as well. And it's also interesting that once the person is gone, then people want to find out more. Where was he born? How did he, you know, which we should do better there. You know, I think we should celebrate our people.
So overall, when you look at these trends, just put it all together for us. What does it kind of say to you?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them seem quite fun, right? It's topics that are funny. It's, you know, celebrities and so on. But the one that interested me the most was the, you know, top near me searches. And the first one which came at the top was jobs near me. And it was the same last year as well. And I think this is a reflection of the concerns, you know, that we have as South Africans, and obviously the staggering unemployment rate that we have in the country. So while these are a bit of fun, and if you look at it from the surface, it may seem, you know, like a fun thing,
so
but I do think
it's almost a reflection of what society is going through.
What where we are right now.
What do you think will be big next year then?
I think the jobs will still be a big deal. Hopefully, you know, government can sort of look at that. But I do think that we will still have a lot more of South Africans coming up, local things, because we've got a lot of South Africans that just keep making us prouder and prouder. So as long as that streak continues, I think that's what we'll be seeing more of. Obviously, as the technology is speaking a lot about the 4th Industrial Revolution, people want to find out a lot more about that. We've got the iTech conference that's coming up, and I think, I hope that is what people will be looking at, because we must also educate ourselves. I think Mampincha and all the other people might not be the best thing to Google, but I think it's also great that we are supporting more of our local stuff.
We're going to have to leave it there, but thanks so much for coming through.
Thank you very much for having me.
Looking at what we're looking at.
Yes, it'll be interesting next year.
Again in the new year. Have good holidays.
You too. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
All right, so we are going to take a quick look at the weather, and after that, loads more here on SA Today. Stay with us.